Hello, good evening, everyone. It's my pleasure to welcome you all to this World Human Sciences and Management Conference 2021. This is Rudra Narayan Das, Executive Director, Center for Adivasi Research and Development. We are proud to announce that this conference is conducted along with Indian Institute of Management, Sambalpur, Central University of Odisha, Koraput, and Ravenshaw University, Cuttack. On behalf of CARD and our coordinating institutions, I would like to welcome our speaker for today, Professor Dr. Aditi Sharma, and our respected participants across the globe who are watching us through Facebook Live, YouTube Live, and who are here to listen Professor Aditi Sharma. The broader theme of this conference is agnotological context, disciplinary practices of social sciences and policy frames. On behalf of Center for Adivasi Research and Development, I extend my profound gratitude to our patrons, Professor Dr. Mahadev Jaiswal, Director, Indian Institute of Management, Professor Dr. Sharad Kumar Palita, Vice Chancellor, Central University of Odisha, and Professor Dr. Sanjay Kumar Nayak, Vice Chancellor, Vice Chancellor, Ravenshaw University, Cuttack, Odisha. The convener of this largest virtual conference are eminent Indian historian Professor Chandi Prasad Nanda and eminent policy activist, writer, and philanthropist Mr. Charudat Panigrahi. The main outcome of this conference is to come up with a national and international framework for the education system in future. The crux of this conference will be the use of digital technologies such as artificial intelligence, augmented reality, and virtual reality that is being increasingly adopted after the outbreak of COVID-19. We hope this intellectual gathering would help students, faculties, researchers, and all to expand their mental horizon and help the education system to adopt the best. So this is the 57th talk of this series. Dear friends, Center for Adivasi Research and Development is a leading research-oriented institution promoting ethnographic, empirical, and evidence-based research for engaging and addressing the challenges that 21st century globe is facing today. The prime agenda of this institution is to come up with the potential policy solutions and social change while believing in the idea of 3D that stands for debate, dialogue, and discussion, and E3, expertise, experiencing, and education. The institution focuses on marginalized communities and work for their livelihood to protect the nature, culture, language, and identity in particular. The age of modernity has witnessed the change is the only constant phenomenon for societal purpose to avoid paradoxically frameworks which neglected so many centuries from theory to become practice. The center sincerely believes in the concept of social marketing, which is seriously looking for non-profit marketing and builds new social entrepreneurship for check and balance mechanism to glorify generations to come. Center for Adivasi Research and Development come to serve with the holistic approach of critical thinking in education to fill the gaps to plan accordingly for the voiceless communities. Ladies and gentlemen, friends, in this evening, we have with us one of the very fascinating personality. She is none other than Professor Dr. Aditi Sharma. Dr. Aditi Sharma is a senior member IEEE, is working as a professor ITM Vocational University, Vadodara, India. She has worked as an associate professor in the Department of Computer Science and Engaging Computer Science and Engineering at Quantum University, Roorkee, and also designated as coordinator Quantum Region and Center. Prior to that, she has more than 13 years of teaching experience in several engineering colleges. She has also served as the head of the Department of CIT Abu Road and Mahavir Institute of Technology and Science, Jaddan. She completed her BTech in civil engineering from Modi University of Technology and Science. Professor Aditi received her PhD degree in computer science and engineering from MBM Engineering College, Jodhpur. Her research uh, her research includes cellular automata, cryptography, image processing, and VLSI. She is having 34 research publications in reputed international journals and 19 patents uh, in her research career. She also have qualified GATE in 2008 and got offers from top IITs for masters. She has been invited as a resource person for TEQIP3 sponsored faculty development program on laboratory experiment practices using current software, hardware, tools, and techniques, and speaker for international virtual conferences on advance in science, technology, engineering, and management on current trends in data science. Professor Aditi is an associate editor of IAES International Journal of Artificial Intelligence, International Journal of Electrical and Computer Engineering, and International Journal of Computing and Digital Systems, and editorial board member of journal group, several journal groups and international journals and research publications in engineering and science. She is also serving as advisory committee member in the technical program committee member, as a reviewer of several international conferences and international journals. Dr. Aditi has reviewed manuscripts of computer networks published by Pearson. She attended 3 QIPs organized by IIT Delhi on solar power and space conditioning, IIT Roorkee on recent trends in network security, and at TU Kota on machine learning, deep learning, and artificial intelligence also. She has been the faculty mentor of Smart India Hackathon and Fast AI CTE Chhatra Vishwakarma Award. She served as the coordinator of IIT Bombay, spoken tutorial, NPTEL, Atal Inconvention Center at MITS Jaddan. She also organized various workshops, industrial visits, and conferences during her career. So welcome, ma'am, to World Human Sciences and Management Conference. Today, Professor Sharma will be deliver her talk on role of technology in pandemic and sustainability related issues. Now, I would like to invite Dr. Aditi Sharma to initiate her talk.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, sir, for inviting for this novel talk. Let me share my screen first. Is this visible?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So here my topic of talk is role of technology in pandemic and sustainability related issue, and it is a great opportunity to have a talk for the World Human Sciences and Management Conference, and it is a lecture series of agnotological context disciplinary practice of social sciences and policy forms. As here are the outlines. The big picture, role of technology in the era of COVID-19 pandemic, sustainability and development, the challenges, some solutions and conclusions, and future directions. As we all know, novel coronavirus is the most recent pandemic which has struck more than 210 countries and territories all over the world, placing states in a perilous position. Numerous research are being done on the virus detection, providing treatments to relieve symptoms, its vaccines. Now, which according to an estimate might take 1 to 2 more years. Therefore, WHO has laid stress upon the governments worldwide to guarantee competent surveillance and identification on infected individuals to control severe disease. quality of COVID-19 pandemic effects. We have already seen this scenario in the time of COVID-19 pandemic, and we are going through this scenario right now also. So latest technologies such as IoMT, drones, robots, and UVs, GPS, and Bluetooth can play a primary role in such circumstances to mitigate the impact of COVID-19 outbreak. Therefore, a lot of study has been gone through for the digital transformation for solving traditional problems with the technology. Like what here we can see that we are having the customer focus over products focus in technology. Just a minute. So we are having organizational structure also changing, management and cultural transformation. Transformational leadership drives technology decision, and technology decision involve entire C-suite integration of all data system, internal customer experience, logistic and supply chain for improving efficiencies, and data security, privacy and data ethics for maintaining the role of technology in the transformation for the digitalization, evolution of products, services, and processes, digitalization of the business, personalization guides to the customer. Here we are having the 6 habits of digital transformation leaders. First one is the focuses on the customers for first and foremost. If we are from the teaching environment or academic environment, then the student and the teachers are the customers for that digitalization of education industry. After all, we need to first to focusing the customer needs. Second one is accelerates AI to drive growth, drive innovation through ecosystem and partnerships. Then nurtures talent with new incentives and strategies. Then activate governance plans for emerging tech. Then power innovation by leveraging data and being agile. Now here next one is the driving force for the economic growth. What was in the pre-modern era, there was labor intensive industries, and in 50s to 60s we are having heavy industries like chemical, shipbuilding, and there are the capital intensive of 50 in the era of 50s 60s. In 70s and 80s we are having light industry, semiconductor species. Then it was the knowledge intensive. Now in 21st century, we have the term as a SMILE. As for systemization and integration, M for materials and sciences, I for information, L for life sciences, E for environment. Here is the cyber technology, biotechnology, and a nanotechnology knowledge creating industry. That is a SMILE. That contains the future market for the sustainability. What is the sustainability? Sustainable development is defined as an approach to developing or growing by using resources in a way that allows for them to renew or continue to exist for others. Using recycled materials or renewable resources when building is an example of sustainable development. Here we can see that pictorial representation of how we are growing to the age of technological man from the primitive man. In earlier BC, we are having the primitive man, then hunting was the occupation, then primitive farmer, then developed farmer. We are having the developing technology, then we gone through the industrialization, and now we are going through the technological man. That is an astronomical increase in energy demand. So energy consumed in the form of food, where like what in food is used energy for growing up in the market now. And is the blue dot is the domestic energy for cooking, heating, services, energy for office work, trade, etc. Green stands for the energy for industry and agriculture, and yellow stands for the energy for transport. Here like what if we are talking about the sustainability, first main concern is the environmental pollution. That is the major breakthrough for the today's like today's today's scenario, that we are going through the environmental pollution. Like we are having the continuation of the physical and biological components of the earth or atmosphere system to such an extent that normal environmental processes are adversely affected. So here, next one is the steps for emerging technological development. Here are the first step is identification of new technological fields. That is, we need to search for, we need to identify what kind of technology field you must choose. If you can, like what we are on the Zoom meeting, that is a new technological field in the era of COVID-19. That for connectivity, we have searched about that Zoom is the best tool for the connecting worldwide. Search for options and solutions, market or public pool, new effects and perspectives, technological push. Step 2, valuation of the identified technological fields, investigation of potential of innovation, development and market success, obstacle for realization and implementation, problem solving contributions and possible side effects. Step 3 is the transposition of measures for innovation. First, we need to identify which kind of technological field we must choose, and second one is the valuation of identified technological fields, that it is secured or not, what can be problem solving contribution beside it, and after that we need to implement transposition for the innovation, elimination of information and knowledge bricks, support for of adequate frameworks, implementation of new instruments. So here we need to add direct values to the science, economy and society. Science implies that the increase of our knowledge. Economy implies the creation of workplaces, the manufacturing of marketable goods, direct impact of basic products, indirect impact via leverage, effects of basic units in complex system, and the society improvements for a better life, achievements towards a healthier society, the assurance of food availability, the development of renewable energies. Here are the major 10 problems for the next 50 years for the humanity's survivals. That is report of UN 2008. First is the energy, second is the water, third is food, environment, poverty, terrorism and war, disease, and education, democracy, and population. So first, most kind solution of technology in the era of COVID-19 is distance learning, and we can refer as a digital learning. That digital learning is any type of learning that is facilitated by the technology or by instrumental practice that makes effective use of technology. Model Google, like your that is Zoom meetings. A lot of tools were designed for the Google Meet for the digital learning. According to a recent survey, around 191 countries have either implemented or announced the closure of schools and universities, which has directly impacted close to 1.57 billion students. Most of the educational institutions have started to offer their courses online to make sure education is not disturbed due to the pandemic. And this technology evolves the learning through the digitalized mode and distance mode. Technology used in distant learning mode include augmented reality, 3D printing, virtual reality, and robot teachers enabled with artificial intelligence. Second topmost example of COVID-19 pandemic through technology is online entertainment. So COVID-19 has completely transitioned how content is being generated, distributed, and streamed. Online streaming of live shows and concerts have gained traction across the world. Several film production companies have also been realizing their movies via over-the-top platform such as Amazon Prime Video, Hotstar, Netflix, Z5, Would Select. OTT caters to varied interests of people across the globe with the perennial additions of diverse content. The lockdown has helped people in realizing the ease of viewing content on OTT platforms. It has changed how people are consuming content on a day-to-day basis. OTT platforms have witnessed a significant rise in both app downloads and viewership during the lockdown period. Many gaming platforms have witnessed a substantial growth in their user base. There has been a significant spike in the gaming sector sales and the duration for which the games are being played. People are using game as an option to deal with COVID-19 stress. That is a major play major role of technology at the time of COVID. After that, we are having contact tracing application, that is Arogya Setu have assisted in tracking the COVID-19 spread. Technology has also helped in educating people about the entire situation and reminding them to take the necessary precautions. Telecom operators such as BSNL, Jio, Airtel have used caller tunes for spreading awareness about the pandemic. The facial recognition technology has helped in identifying people accurately even when they are wearing a mask. Technology has also helped in monitoring the movement of quarantine, quarantine sorry, quarantined people. CCTV cameras, which are enabled with facial recognition feature, have helped in identifying infected individuals while do not follow the rules and step out their homes despite being quarantined. Next major application is the stock market. That is due to the COVID-19, stock market was falling down, but technology maintained that stock market. The adoption of technology in the stock market industry has been quite good for brokerage firms. Several brokerage companies have seen a spike in the number of clients since more investors have decided to tap the stock market. Due to the pandemic, clients are mostly staying indoors and are getting more free time to access the market situation, thereby also leading to an increase in trading volumes. Next one is the contactless online deliveries, Zomato, Swiggy, all those are the contactless online deliveries. We are having the Easy Day, online grocery market witnessed tremendous growth during the pandemic due to the soaring demand amongst consumers. Families, particularly with children and older people, prefer to place their grocery order online. This in turn resulted in a significant increase of new users who are resorting to online apps for grocery deliveries. The provision given to choose a preferred time slot for delivery plus a reduced time fee for orders above a specified amount is attracting more and more customers towards online delivery business model. Next, the most important application is the rise of robots in the post-pandemic world. So, COVID-19 pandemic brought the world to crisis and the new normal where the world is still trying to embrace the old normal, what we left behind almost a year ago. The new normal is embracing digital transformation, which is both disruptive and transformative and has defined new norms of living from highly networked, interactive, and collaborative to compartmentalized, isolated, and decentralized social architecture. Better approach would be to create the transition in future with web of human machine robot interfaces. However, this transition presents an opportunity in discuss of a deeper challenge in the socialism of robot human cobot interaction, which would require qualitative aspects of humanism, ethics, and values embedded in these interfaces. This will be possible through supervised and human assisted and network robotics to control the activities. COVID-19 crisis has led to realization about ultra transitional meditation and community work to protect the social impact, loneliness, loss of near and dear ones, working from home leading to suburban rather than the concrete jungles. This has led to new normal to look at life and its priorities. To quote Dr. Sam Petroda during COVID-19, only two things matter: people and the planet. Now, a new post-pandemic paradigm for robotics. Pre-pandemic, what was the in the pre-pandemic behavior? Applications in highly developed countries with declining populations such as Japan. The purpose of robotics is to reduce cost and replace extensive human workers. Only these two major reasons were there to adopt the robots. But in post-pandemic, can we use robotics to protect human workers? Even it mean if it mean increasing cost, can we use robotics to create new jobs and opportunities for entrepreneurship, not only for those who lost employment in the pandemic, but others as well? Can we use robotics to break existing barriers to human creativity? Now, a holistic post COVID 19 perspective. When the COVID 19 crisis hit, society was in a reactive mode and adopted an emergency short term perspective and blindly adopted the first available digital alternative, such as e commerce, to continue all activities. In the post COVID world, society must adopt a more long term, more holistic thought process. Can we use human robot collaboration to overcome depression and isolation caused by quarantine and social distancing? and promote more holistic forms of post-pandemic human interaction? Can we leverage robotics to facilitate and promote micro-entrepreneurship, local markets, and small business? So here are the solution of the robots. We are having majorly three types of robots. First is the industrial robots. Second was is the service professional robots. Third one is the software robots. In industrial robots, we are having manufacturing, assembly, sanitization. Service robots or professional robots deals with the retail, healthcare, e-commerce, waste management, shopping. Software robots deals with the finance, human resource, procurement, contactless transfers. Three modes of controls are there: full autonomous, human control, and human robot collaboration. So full autonomous, controlled by some form of artificial intelligence. Human control, controlled by human robot collaboration, hybrid of AI and human supervision. So here, need of human assisted supervised robots, need of the post pandemic world. We are having substitute robots, healthcare, hygiene and sanitization, logistic, blockchain and transportation, and disaster and hazard management. Collaborative robots for sharing work and meeting demands, industry, HR and finance, software and application development, collaborative teaching, learning with IIT Delhi or somewhere else. Now, supplementary robotics, helping in coping with the demands of decentralized demands of consumer, education and research, international collaboration with like Waterloo or Edinburgh, data mining, management, curation, clinical procedures and surgeries, humanoids. So that is a humanoid robot and human interaction, robotic interface with ethics, emotion, and values for better companionship, intelligent evolutionary networks of human and robots. So obvious but essential post-pandemic application of robotics. How can we use robotics and human-robot collaboration to create a robust maintenance network for essential human activity? So we are having the following terms: an uninterrupted supply chain, food security, energy security, environmental management, decontamination, disinfection and disposal, disaster and hazard management, healthcare, including assembly of personal protective equipment, UV disinfection infectants, and other healthcare equipment, security and surveillance infrastructure, and civic participation and preservation of an uninterrupted democratic process. A science of user interfaces. Ultimately, information theory and Asway's law of requesting variety place limits on human control system. Can we utilize artificial intelligence to develop control system for humans to supervise robots via hand gesture, eye movements, and controllers that are as intuitive as possible? Translate the latest technology in prosthetics to develop novel user interface for controlling robots. So a hybrid of AI and human robot supervision. We are having the white collar workers, that is IT workers, consultants, and others. Now work from home around the world. Can we use robotics to allow truck drivers, factory workers, and even essential service to work from home? Can we use a hybrid of traditional artificial intelligence with remote human supervision to control robots? Will this allow us to deploy robots immediately rather than the wait for advances in AI? In the pre-pandemic world, remote control robots presented no economic advantages for most applications, but remote controlled robots may present many economic advantages over a complete or partial lockdown. So here is the topmost example of robotic behavior, that is a supply chain. Although self-driving trucks are gaining popularity, there may be severe limitation to AI in the near future. Instead of waiting for self-driving trucks, can we develop remote control trucks driven by real human truck drivers who stay at home? Or can self-driving trucks be supervised by human truck drivers remotely to reduce risk of accidents? So post COVID-19 scenario and the robotics having the healthcare with integrated medicine practitioners believing in role of technology, ultra transitional meditation and human values. During pandemic, it became clear that minimalism and environmental issue and regeneration of wildlife were possible. Robotics should continue without robots. Definition of robotics should include autonomous system with values and ethics and belief in human supervised mode of network based operation. community living with robots for improving living standards and condition in cooperative and collaborative mode. Emotional instability during pandemic can also be addressed using above mentioned solution. In summary, combine robotics with the human touch for higher order achievement. Next one is the dissemination of information. Companies such as Google, Facebook are striving hard to ensure people get only accurate and verified information. Their objective is to make accurate information accessible to everyone so that there is complete transparency of the entire scenario. And people can be educated about the required steps to undertake well in advance. False information around the number of COVID 19 cases, vaccines, diagnosis, and treatment options, medicines, government measures, etc., can create more panic among the population. The anxiety of people could result in widespread shouts, hoarding of essential items, panic buying, increased rates, conspiracy theories that increase the technology involvement for this dissemination of information. Next one is the fitness and health apps. All we are using fitness and health apps for monitoring the our stress level or your behavior. New alternative are being introduced by health and fitness apps to help people remain fit at the comfort of staying indoors due to the pandemic situation. Several fitness and health brands have started conducting live workout sessions on their apps and social media platforms. These initiatives have also seen decent traction. Next one is technology based temperature monitoring, where a lot of applications we are having at the time of COVID pandemic, that is infrared and wireless thermometers have now become the most commonly used medical equipment at toll gates, entry and exit gates of offices, airports, shopping malls, hotels, railway stations, shops, hospitals, and other public places. These temperature monitoring technologies have assisted in measuring the body temperature of individuals from a distance. These temperature measuring devices have also been useful in identifying the individuals who might need further investigation. Next one is the work from home. We already discussed about the work from home option that ensure the business continuity for various companies and businesses, internet data privacy, security, virtual meetings, cloud conferencing, etc. have assisted professionals in adapting themselves to work from the home scenario with ease. So it has also ensured that the deliverables are not delayed. Remote working has been a blessing in disguise, which has helped us to a great extent to maintain and follow social distancing protocol. Here an application for the healthcare system for involving technology for the sustainability and the COVID-19 behavior. We are having the IoMT devices, Internet of Things in medical devices, that is smart hospital emergency response, that is smart home, smart infrastructure, smart gadgets, robots, on-body sensors, and doctors, technician, and the nurses. All are digitalized. We are having the fitness trackers, headband, with embedded neurosensors and embedded skin patches. Next one is the transportation system. These all are the application that can be referred as the application of technology. That we are having the like what if one person want to go with the their transportation, then we are having the smart intersection, having the toll system digitalized, city traffic management system is digitalized. We are having the fleet management security system, then mobile communication, then security system, then schedule and location, where bus a customer or traveler can catch the bus by Wi-Fi or any satellite or mobile communication. That is the global market of IoT based connected cars is expected to reach $46 billion by 2020. That role includes traffic management, real-time vehicle tracking, vehicle-to-vehicle communication, scheduling of train, aircraft, and automatic payment or ticketing system, automatic toll connection. Here we are having the agriculture cyber physical system or AACPS, future farms or smart and smart. We are having the farming data, that can be digitalized and use the monitoring a tool as the survey drones, and we are having the fleet of agri-bots, then smart tractors are there, then texting cows are there. So this smart agriculture or farming market worth $82.21 billion by 2021. That is the automatic irrigation system, climate smart agriculture objectives are the increasing agriculture productivity, resilience to climate changes, reducing greenhouse gases. These are the driving technology. Sensor technology, variety of them, a lot of different sensors are in the market, and we can use these sensors for the developing any application. Here is an example of sensor plus device with its own IP address, that is the thing. So body temperature sensor plus an oxygen in blood sensor, that is SpO2, blood pressure sensor, and patient action sensor, accelerometer are there, airflow sensor, that is breathing, and electrocardiogram sensor ECG, electromyography sensor EMG, e-health sensor, shield for Arduino and Raspberry Pi, and galvanic skin response sensor GSR and sweating. So here we can see, if we are talking about the car, driving car, then we can say that is the motion position sensor, differential non-contacting angle sensor, combo sensor, steering torque, throttle position sensor, HVAC sensor, and steering sensors are there. Steering sensors are there, fuel level sensors are there, wheel speed sensors are there, mirror sensors are there, accelerator pedal angle sensors are there, transmission sensor, headlight range sensor. These a lot of sensor, like approx 100 sensors are in the self driving cars. Next one is the IoT communication technology. So we are having different communication technology like Bluetooth, low energy, Zigbee, Z-Wave, 6LoWPAN, Thread, Wi-Fi, cellular, NFC, Sigfox, Neol, LoRaWAN. These all are the technology for the communication. Computing technology, we are having neural processing units, tensor processing unit, and SoC based design, watts of power, 320 trillion operations per second. Next one is machine learning technology, that is artificial intelligence, consumer electronics, for the better decision and the faster response. Blockchain technology, connecting the world into the blockchain for the digital currency. After that, smart city application, data collection and surveying, monitoring and tracking, and temporary infrastructure delivery of goods. So we can develop smart city application using all these four combination. Then challenges, what can be the challenges, like robustness, safety, massive scaling. We need to minimize the architecture or size as per the needs, design and operation cost, security, privacy and IP protection, creating knowledge and big data, architecture and dependency, and the energy consumption. So here power grid attack and the self-driving car hacked attacks, then system failure. These all are the security challenges when we are going to the technology for the development of era. Here we are having security measures is a hard energy constraint. Mainly all the security measures are the energy constraint, that pacemaker battery life 10 years, neurostimulator battery life is 8 years. Implementable medical devices have integrated battery to provide energy to all their functions, limited battery life depending on functions. Higher battery or energy uses, lower IMD lifetime. Battery or IMD replacement needs surgical risk procedure. So, and one more next example of challenges is blockchain, that is fake block generation, high energy consumption, lack of scalability, high latency, lack of privacy, limited on-chain storage capability. um, Here blockchain energy need is used. If we are having we need to go for 1 Bitcoin, then energy for mining of 1 Bitcoin is large, like energy consumption 2 years of a US household. Energy consumption for each Bitcoin transaction is 80,000 x energy consumption of credit card processing. These energy is highly demanded for all application uses of the AI and security. So attackers capabilities are access to training the data, access to model the data, access to train the data. So get data, train model, and deploy model. Then attacker's goal is model poisoning, extraction, and model invasion, and impersonalism. So here is the solutions. Gas sensing system. First of all, our major impact of the gas. So we are having nanos as a gas energy sensing system. We are having temperature controller, sensors, and reset amplifier biasing unit for the MCU level detector and the display communication and the alarm system. That is the gas sensing system, so that if there is any leaking or any type of high energy, the high gas sensor, then it may be allowed. Next one is the applications real world. Real world, we have already seen all these application at the time of COVID. Stainless textiles, smart textiles, resist spill, resist static, cool comfort, anti-falling stock, smart shirt, sensory architecture. These all are the application in the real world. Water scarcity is the major problem at the time of sustainability in the world. So water in the nanotechnology is the major solution: is sterilization, decontamination, and water desalination. Three ways nanotechnology can contribute to the availability of abundant potable water. Here, next one is the major sustainability is energy sources. So we are having non-renewable oil, coal, natural gases. So we are moving through the renewable wind, biomass, and solar. Why solar energy? That is abundant, available 86,000 talk watt per year. World consumption is 15 talk watt per year, never ending. This is the main here we are having the example of biomass energy, that is a clean energy be obtained from the high abundant compounds on earth, such as water and the hydrogen compounds, and high thermal efficiency on board production. Then we are having eternal thing, combined security and energy harvesting at the ease. So here we are having as devices and their development, we are having IoT smart nodes and gateways and computers, and we are in the as devices and development, we are having different application like smart agriculture, smart transportation system, and last one is the cloud, where we are storing the data on the virtualization. So solar cell harvesting system with the physical unclonable function, then sensors, system on chip, and transaction receiver. These all are the combining energy harvesting at the edge devices. Next one is the smart healthcare system. We already seen then that if we need to monitor all our activities like body temperature, physical activity monitoring sensor, sweet sensor, food intake monitoring components, we need to go with the is deep learning based stress model, stress level detection unit, stress management unit, stress level, stress value, and there is the cloud deep learning based stress model. So this is the smart healthcare system for the stress monitoring control. Then ICLU, accurate non-invasive glucose level monitoring and insulin delivery. That is the device that monitor the continuous glucose that we are going to the hospital, and hospital is connected to the cloud storage. Then it is the secured assured system which is implanted in the for the patient, and it will secrete the insulin, and after that display of parameters are there, artificial pancreas system we can say it. So near infrared based non-invasive accurate continuous glucose monitoring unit, this is the major application of technology in the at the medical scenario. Conclusion: technology plays important role at the time of pandemic. Various elements and components of CPS, including data devices, system components, AI needs security. So by 2030, global energy demand up by 45%, oil price up to USD 180 per barrel, GHG emission by 45%, that is gas, hydrogen gases, global average temperature trajectory plus 6 degrees centigrade, economic losses equivalent to 5 to 10 degree of global GDP as compared to the 3% of GDP loss from the current financial crisis. Poor countries will suffer cost in excess of 10% of their GDP. These all impacting the today's sustainability from the technology. So security by design and privacy by design. Embedding of security or privacy into the architecture, that is plus hardware plus software of various products, program or services, retrofitting difficult trends to impossible. Thank you. That is, hardwares are the driver of this civilization. Even software need them.
Thank you, Aditi, for your wonderful presentation. I would like to more about what you talked about these big players. What is your ideas on these big players, on the political economy of technology? Please tell
Uh,
me something.
Sir, you are not
Yeah,
properly audible. Can you please repeat again your question?
yeah. Now you can hear me?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes. Please tell me some your what you showcasing in your presentation. The big
Yeah.
players, quote unquote big players. What is the political economy on technology?
Sir,
What is the what is the impact of political economy on technology, particular this pandemic? How you find the major solution when you talked about this solution you given your presentation? How would you relate your solution to the environment?
so like what when we are talking about the economy, that we are having the environmental regulation involving the government trying to induce a polluter to take socially desirable actions. So these all technology need to involve sustainability and the economy during the growth of the environment also. Like what if we are including AI, okay, we are having the short time product of, okay, we need to reduce inflammation and all those things due to the productivity. Like what all these pictures where we are involving technology, then we are having the short time span products, okay. And every time if we are having short time span product, then it's involving lesser cost. That lesser cost reduce the inflammation, okay. Because always technology development, if we are talking about the energy resources, that our natural energy resources are going down, okay. If we are going for the biomass and fuel and like what LPG, other energy resources, solar power, and we are digitalized those solar power for the development, then obviously the economy will grow for the next future market, because of adopting those environmental resources for the development or particular customer use.
Thank you so much, ma'am,
Thank you, sir.
for your wonderful and thought-provoking remarks on your topic. Ma'am, today we are living um, in a globalized era, um, and we are dependent upon technology to stay interconnected. That even during the time of this crisis, virtual platforms like you mentioned in Google Meet, Zoom, and all the kind of entertainment medias are entertain us in several ways, and also we are intellectually connected with Google Meet, Zoom, and Skype. These kind of technological, because of technological importance, and definitely your talk is very much influenced to the present generation. Ma'am, there is a question asked by Mr. Shubham Das. He's a social change campaigner. Uh, Ma'am, he's asking, as you have mentioned, the technology have a vivid impact in the time of unprecedented crisis like COVID pandemic. But what is the necessity of the technology that is alienating human being uh, from their workforce, so far as AI is concerned?
Just a second. How using technology we can make available fresh air, and how using technology we can make available air and clean work to the disadvantaged section of our society easily. The technology we use today to extract mining and industrialization using fossil fuels have been destroying our climate. How you look at this proposition so far as the climate change is concerned? First, the first most thing that is the let me introduce the two main development, and mankind. Okay, so development never harming the society or the growing science is a science is a like curse and like boom and a curse. Okay, if we are using science for the development, it never be a curse. Okay, but if we are having the greedy behavior and we are like you talk really a sensitization issue that like for extracting mining and for industrialization using fossil fuels are destroying the climate. This is sure, because glaciers are melting down and we are having the behavior of like rainy seasons, like a lot of things are there in behavioral change. But the thing is that we need to restrict our behavior for all those issues. There is nothing to be human is very bound to the beyond of the nature. So we must restrict our behavior and only focus on the development of the human mankind, not for the greedy behavior. That is the thing. Like fresh air and clean water to the disadvantage. Fresh air is the like we always know that planet is green, then we have the fresh air. So we must grow the trees and all those things. Nothing else. We are having the solution and technology. Nothing going to do in this thing. Okay, so first of all, we must restrict our behavior in case of going through the development for the society. If we are not going for the development for the society and we are restricting ourselves for the greedy behavior, then it must harm like COVID-19 pandemic, nothing else.
Hello, madam. Myself Pramod.
Yes, sir.
Hello, madam.
Yes, sir. You're audible.
Audible, madam. Please, thank you, madam. Madam, in your speech, you gave much stress to robotic workers.
Yes, sir.
I am apprehending a lazy world in future, because in some countries like India and some underdeveloped countries, it is not possible. People has not even at present. I am a man of 63. I have not seen a robot in my life.
No,
How,
sir.
how it is possible, madam?
Pardon, please. No, sorry. Like what you have seen robots. You have seen robots. You can refuse that you have not seen robots this till this time. Like what there is a mob. Let me share my screen. Just a minute, and it's mob. Just a minute. Let me search that device. You are having robotic behavior in your daily life, and you don't know that you are using robots.
Okay,
Like
madam. Thank you. Thank you.
yes.
Aditi, can you please tell me what is your actual meaning of development in per se, the societal vital aspect and the community linkage programs? What you talked about this technology, technology is always a agency of this modern bourgeois development. If you read Mohandatta,
You're not
listen,
properly audible, sir.
please listen. If you read Mohandatta's work on particular this communication culture and agency, you might get to know much about what you rightly not mentioned here. If you go to the techno-based industry, and the technology is a most harmful tool for these communities, for say in particular beyond pandemic or post-pandemic like what. When you always try to unimpose these unethical issues related to the technology and the technosphere as concerns. If you look seriously, the machinery work and this computergraphy and this internet watch world, not sufficient to meet the challenges, the nitty-gritty theory of this serious pandemic world. No technology can save you. Only the societal aspect can save you, rather science, because scientists are not in the picture, right, in the time of pandemic. And again, this contradiction you made, the technosphere or the technology related to sustainability. Never ever any technology can save your sustainability. It's always paradigm shifting of new knowledge and producing the political economy by the big players as concerned. You not mentioned here. IMF, World Bank, WTO, WHO, and ADF. These big players, they handle all these things. What you observe in your methodology is concerned, what you talked in your presentation last 45 minutes, how could you relate this story in a new narration of life world? Please.
I think you are asking about that whatever in the post-pandemic behavior, that technology is not important, having no important role in the time of pandemic. Your meaning is that even scientists are falling down for the in the COVID-19 behavior. Okay, like you are right in at the point of your that in the at the time of COVID-19, whatever is the AI, machine learning, or blockchain, or somewhere technology is there, but we are not having the proper solution for the vaccination. But the thing is that why technology is important in the COVID-19 pandemic, and what I have discussed, that we all are connected. We were isolated at our home, but we all were connected due to the use of technology. It doesn't mean that we are not having the role of technology in our daily behavior. We are having isolation due to the our technology. If there was no Google Meet, there was no Zoom, or there was no AI implemented applications. Okay, we are having the medical devices for checking our SpO2 level. Okay, so these all devices uses. We are sitting at home and we are ordering them, and we are checking our SpO2 level. This is due to the technology only. Okay, I am not saying that 100% technology having the implication over the human mankind. Okay, but the role of technology is connecting people through the others and saving the humanity through the technology. That is the main impact of the my talk, and what is it, and sustainability. You are saying that we cannot achieve the sustainability through the technology. This is totally wrong. If we are having the foremost example is like energy resources, second most example is the water scarcity, if we are having, and third most is the poverty. Okay, so these three problems we can concentrate. Okay, energy sources are like falling down, and these are all means energy resources are no much we are having we are not having in much application. Okay, so these energy resources can be retransformed by the technology for saving our future. If we are not having technology, then these resources are limited. Okay, and these may lay down in the nearby future market. Okay, in nearby future era. Okay, so these technology are evolving for constructing these these energy resources as the renewable energy resources. There is the major role. We never say we cannot say that 100% technology involvement is saving our resources, but like what we can transform our resources for uses of resources for our particular daily needs. That is the main main theme of this talk, that why we are standing up standing up with the technology. Like what villages. Okay, villages in like what if we were not having technology now, then we cannot say that we can save the villages, because due to the technology, due to the evolution of mobile phones, every villager was in the way of having the knowledge of the COVID-19. So he or she was able to make him or her isolate. Technology is not only referring that we are having the machine learning or AI. A small development or a small application like steam engine, like your boilers, your tube light, all these are the technology. Mobile phones, communication technology. So these are all are the technology. So this technology saved a human life. Hospitals, if we are having ventilators also save the human life.
Thank you. And
Thank-
last question from my side.
yes sir.
Aditi, you must listen about this communities problem.
Yes, yes.
When you talked about this technology and sustainability, I might be wrong in my observations. I wandering throughout the community exposure throughout India, from Uttar Pradesh to Koraput and from Gujarat to Bangalore. If
Yes,
you go to the forest side when the tribal people are living, and you might sure about these people don't have the electricity, but talked about this tube light and bulbs and all this. And the oxygen content they people use in everyday life consume is the high density oxygen. Ores are plentifully available in particular hilly side and forest side. How could you say in particular
hello.
yeah, you hear me?
Yes, yes, yes.
And this artificial intelligence and these machine learning schemes not availed by them. They totally rejected the modern development policies, what you talked about through technology. These
Yes.
people are living happily in their life world, in their forest and in the river mountain side. How could you justify technology is the life changing of their lives?
Like what you are saying about the community problems, and the major problem is the illiteracy. Okay, because they don't want to understand the role of technology in their daily lives. They are implementing their daily lives through the technology. And you are very true that there are a lot of places where there is no lights, no water supply. And I also read about the water scarcity problem in a hilly village. They are living from and like what just now we have the supply. But we need to focus on those issues. And the major problem is the illiteracy. First foremost focus must be the literating them one. And this problem can be solved by the government policies, nothing else. And there must be some government policy to literate them. After that, they can understand the power of technology in their daily lives. Because there are the 7 sustainable development goals, that is SDGs, by the UN for developing nations. That is no poverty, zero hunger, good health and well-being, quality education, gender equality, clean water and sanitation, and affordable and clean energy, distant work, and economic growth. A lot of like what 70 are there. So these people, like what if we are not having the goal with the illiteracy, na, then we cannot cope up with the technology, or we cannot cope up with the development of those villages or those areas with the developing nation. And we cannot grade up as a growing nation, grow developed nation. Because we are having the 7 countries as the developed nation, and we are till now developing. Okay, and these problems will be evolving problem. And due to this, we are not having the flood management, we are not having the political arrogance. And a lot of problem is there. We are having the major problem of um, um, mm, mm, al- water problem, unemployment is there. Okay, in aggregation catastrophes are there. So there are suicides, debt burden. So these problems can be solved through the literacy, nothing else. My view. I don't know about a lot of this thing, but in my view, this problem can be solved through the literacy, nothing else, because this is a major campaigning for growing the people awaken. Without that, we cannot go with the developed nation, and these community problems can be solved by the, because in Rajasthan, at the area of Pali, there is a Gracie community. Okay, now they are going with the literacy, and they are understanding the role of all those technology or all those problems in evolving life. So this is the like campaigning issue, nothing else. No technology or no one can help them without literacy.
Thank you, ma'am. Now, uh, if any other questions from audience sides, please ask to Professor Aditi. Thank you. Now I'd like to invite Dr. Amulya Kumar Acharya for a quick comment on Professor.
Yes, yes. During pandemic, we have come across so many crises. So particularly this digital crisis we used to face, and particularly the youngsters they used to face. And now they are very much interested for attending classes. And one portion, they are very happy. They feel that that normal classes is not suitable for them if it continues. This online classes or virtual classes, what was going on since a couple of months. Happy with that. So I would like to ask Madam how we can reduce this. We can acquaint the students with normal class. And even if I could realize some students, they are feeling very tired and boredom in the class if they are sitting in 5-6 hours. So what the new strategy or we can adopt to come back that normal pedagogy rather than.
Sir, thank you, sir, for the question. This is a really nice question, and we are facing the same problem over here. But in my scenario, the problem is reversed. That the students are much more again interested after the online classes, because they have understand the role of teachers in daily life. Okay, because if a teacher is good, okay, if a teacher is giving a good explanation, and they are understanding that if they are not going into the class, and they can have means loss of their studies, okay, loss of their studies, then they will come in the class surely. This problem can be solved by only the teacher, nothing, no one can solve this problem. And you can implement your videos, I'm taking like cloud subject. Okay, so first of all, you need to explain your subject for the real life, because now the students are too much smart, and they already know a lot of things, that you need not to explain that things to them, but they want the physical explanation in terms of what kind of things can be related to the current and present behavior to the market, and why they need to study those subject for their development. This is the main thing or main agenda. You must motivate them, not motivate, you just take classes in the offline mode, and just skip their course at the online mode. You just be strict, and you just continue with your offline classes, and they will start coming into the offline class. I don't know why students are doing this thing, because and just tell them that it is the college life, and college life will not come again. And you are that much unlucky that you are not living your college life well. Okay, the college life must be spent one time, so that you must have the exposure and the team building behavior. That is the thing. And you are very well known all these things.
Okay, thank
Yeah.
you. No, no, not all. A good portion of students I could see, they are absent after reopening of the institutions. Also, they are not turning up. And another portion, they are feeling tired, sir. You don't take much class, and it's a 3 hours, and
So just only
so no need to take another one class. So we can you can leave us. So
you
this, I
just need
think,
to
this is the post-pandemic impact, that as they were long time they were busy at home and daytime sleeping and all, they were enjoying. So now it is boredom like for them to come every day and attend the classes regularly, and
this is not only with the student, this is with teacher also.
has become mandatory for everyone. Thank you, madam. Thank you.
Yeah. This is with the teacher also. And like what this is the laziness behavior in the student or the teachers, or because they're sitting home in this is the comfort zone, and they are developing their comfort zone. But we need to standing out from the comfort zone for getting the success. This is the main agenda, and you need to tell them that go out from the comfort zone if you need jobs or you need success in your life.
Thank you, Dr. Acharya and Professor Sharma. Now, if anyone else, Dr. Naresh Atri, if you have any questions, please ask directly to ma'am.
Thank you very much, sir. Very, very, very nice explanations, and very feel pride progress to be here and to listen the very, very informative talks. Thank you very much, speakers and the committee.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Aditi Sharma, for your thought-provoking talk on today. It's really a eye-opening session in the entire conference of human sciences and management. And definitely in the present era, in the 21st century, this technology has a very important impact on our society, and the technology immensely and very much impacting to our society, our students, our civil society members, our different kind of institutions also, and our army to cinema to everything will be depending upon this technology and robotic technology, what you have sharing in your ideas and your PowerPoints. So thank you, ma'am, to be here and share your thoughts and enlighten us. And now I would like to close this session with a vote of thanks. So I would like to thank all our patrons, Dr. Mahadev Joyswal, Dr. Professor Dr. S.K. Palita, and Professor Dr. Sanjay Nayak, and our convener, Professor Dr. Chandi Prasad Nanda, and Charudat Panigrahi ji, the Director, Center for Adivasi and Research Development, Dr. Bikram Kesari Jena, and all our coordinators, Dr. Nupur Patnaik, Dr. Samuel Lima, Dr. Amulya Kumar Acharya, Dr. Shravan Bag, and Dr. Apramod Ranjan Panda, Professor Shubham Das, everyone who have their cooperation to organize such kind of intellectual gathering to enlighten the society. Thank you all. Now, the very precious moment to share that this is we are concluding 57 sessions by this talk. Thank you all to be with CARD for this enlightened session. Thank you, ma'am. Now the meeting is concluded. Ma'am, we will definitely go for future engagement with you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.